Hello, this is Rocky Marciano. When I was heavyweight champion of the world, they called me the Brockton Blockbuster. You find out why.
Welcome to the Rocky Marciano Archives, a channel dedicated to the life and career of the immortal champion. In this upload, we take a deeper look into Rocky's initial tryout before the eyes of both Weill and Charley Goldman at the austere CYO Gym, New York. Before we continue, if you enjoy the content of this channel, then hit the like and subscribe buttons. It costs you absolutely nothing but helps this channel towards its aim of celebrating the life of the immortal champion in so many ways. Thank you for your support. Now on with the show. It's late spring 1948, the future Marciano, along with his pal Ali Colombo, arrive, a day late according to Goldman, who described the pair as looking like they came to sweep the place up. Rocky himself summed up his first meeting with Goldman. Frankly, I was a little afraid of him. I know I was a little timid when I walked into the gym that day. When I first saw Charley, I couldn't get the words out, and Ali did all the talking for both of us. Charley had a white sweater on and was smiling a little the first time he talked to me. "So you're the fighter," he said, and I told him I was, which was pretty close to a lie in those days because I was pretty terrible. He sighed a little and said, "If you're a fighter, let's see you fight. Go in and put your duds on and come back here. We'll see how much of a fighter you are." Rocky changed into his Lowell sun trunks and was ushered into the threadbare, antiquated ring in a corner of the sparse gym. The trio of Goldman, Colombo, and Weill perched themselves on the outer apron as inside Rocky stood, gloved up and nervously prepared to spar with a professional who had come there that day merely to train. The professional's name was Wade Chansey, a blonde, blue-eyed heavyweight from Staten Island who, with a dozen professional bouts under his belt, was deemed to be experienced enough to test this novice to the limit. Goldman remembered that day well. The pair of Marciano and Chansey went at each other with as much ferocity as they could muster under the confines of sparring etiquette, which demands that neither man is in there to really hurt the other. The real chance of this occurring were lessened by the padded, almost gladiatorial headguards that each were sporting. Added to this were the oversized gloves, which negated power from punches aimed at each combatant. Even so, Chansey was proving the superior of the rugged New Englander, deftly evading his bull-like charges and wild swings, countering effectively and handling the Brocktonian with ease. "And then," continued Goldman, "he was backed into the ropes by Chansey. Rocky put both his hands up over his head and leaned back while the other guy walloped him a mile a minute. Naturally, Chansey went for the exposed belly, hitting Rocky some real shots. I stopped the action and asked Rock what he was doing. The fellows who taught me to fight told me that when I got against the ropes, I should put my hands over my face and let him hit me in the belly until he got tired, and then I could clout him on top of the head and knock him out. So help me?" Those were Rock's exact words. I had to walk to the other end of the gym and back when I heard that. Anyway, when I called time again, Rocky hit the other guy with a right hand which nearly put a hole in the guy's head, and I knew that something could be done with this boy. If I hadn't called time straight away, he might have hurt Chansey seriously. Marciano takes up the story. I throw the looper and I catch him on the chin. He goes against the ropes. Weill is yelling, "Kill him! Kill him! Let's see you kill him!" While Rock was showering, Goldman added on his soon-to-be charges showing in the ring, I talked it over with one of the CYO trainers who had watched the proceedings. When I asked the guy for his opinion, he says, "Any truck driver can knock a guy out if he gets in a lucky shot. This fellow will never amount to anything." On an inquiry from Rocky as to how he had done, Goldman offered an honest assessment. "You got what nature gave you. If you're willing to work, maybe I can do something for you." Weill, on the other hand, was at first reluctant to take a gamble on this raw fighter who had failed to impress. He felt that Rocky's showing against Wallace back in March had perhaps just been a fluke after all. "I got enough broken-down fighters. This guy ain't even broken down yet. He ain't got enough talent to be broken down." Yet Charley admitted he saw something that day, which made him believe this man at least deserved a chance. While he was dressing, I took stock of what we had here. In my 50 years in the fight game, I never knew another fighter who started with so many things against him. That day, I saw him, he was 23, going on 24, which by our usual standards is way too old to start a boy in 4-rounders. I like to get them when they're 15 or 16 so's I can keep them in the gym for a couple of years. By the time he's 20, a fighter should be well on his way in the business. The guy didn't even know how to face the bag. His feet were wide apart, his head away up in the air, and his arms spread out. He didn't even punch the bag, he swooped down on it. But even through that, I could see he had a strong right hand. But Rocky had 3 things in his favor right from the start. First, he had the body of a fighter. A strong chin, but not too big, a solid neck, a good chest, and a real broad back. Nicely developed arms and wrists, though the arms were awfully short. Rock's reach is only 67 inches, and I've known light heavies and even middleweights with a longer reach. Second, he'd had a lot of all-round athletic background. I found out that in the football and baseball he'd play, he never once had to be taken out. A real Iron Man, you know. To fight, you've got to have stamina. And then I found out about his Army fighting record where he'd been beaten only once or twice and always by decisions that could have gone either way. Third, and most important, here was a boy who wanted to be a fighter and wasn't afraid of the work that we both knew would be rugged to make up for lost time. Adding all this up, I told him to come back and we might be able to work something out. Weill had little choice but to concede to Goldman. He begrudgingly had to admit that Charley knew when he saw someone with potential. Thus he went for the big gamble, but not at his own expense. At least not yet. Thank you for listening. Join us next time as we continue the story of the embryonic Brockton blockbuster as he prepares to make his official professional debut. Until then, we will see you down the road.
If you like this content, then hit the subscribe button. To really support this channel, consider joining for just over $1 a month and unlock ad-free members-only content. Every member will play a key part in revealing the real Rocky.
As soon as the bell rang, it was a completely different person going out there, and I couldn't explain it except I just enjoyed combat. I just enjoyed the sport that I had learned so well, and I had practiced so much that when the bell rang, I did a job. I could concentrate on the opponent. The fight itself was strictly to prove myself as a fighter. I had to prove that I was a better man.